Welcome, in front of me is a LENOVO Tab M10, and today I'll go unboxing along with a brief overview of this device. So starting off, this is the cardboard box that it comes in. Nothing really special here, as you can see. It's fairly underwhelming, honestly, for the majority of the devices that I have tested and unboxed here. Nothing in here, obviously. So let's just drop it to the side. Then we got the device itself. Just pop it out and set it to the side. Now I'll mention that I already set up the device and used it for some time just to see how it works. So in here we got paperwork, SIM ejector, nothing really interesting. There we go. And in here we will get charger and the cable. Now this charger, if I remember correctly, it's a super underwhelming charger, 10 watts, so not sure if it's going to be visible, but it's basically right over here. So it's fairly underwhelming charger, specifically for the 7000 mAh battery that the device comes with. This charger is just laughable for this. So that's basically it. There's nothing in here. Can't really open that even. So again, let's set that to the side. I get a stand and the device, and there we go. So as you can see, this is the tablet itself, the display. So if you're wondering, this is a 10.3 inch display, so it's a fairly big display. As the device itself seems a little bit small, honestly, but that's because the bezels are fairly minimal. And when it comes down to screen to body ratio, it does come around 82.2% screen to body, so it is fairly nice looking. Considering this device is fairly budget, I really like the fact that they decided to opt for fairly minimal amount of bezel. And also the resolution of this device comes at 1200 by 1920, so it's a full HD resolution with a wonky aspect ratio. It's 16 by 10 instead of 16 by 9, I believe. And because of that resolution, you have 220 pixels per inch. Now, just to put that in perspective, the resolution of this device basically is equivalent to majority of the people's monitors at home for their like desktop computers. Most of these devices come with 1080p resolution, so it's basically almost the same as this one, with the key difference this one is a little bit bigger because the display is taller instead of wider. But considering most of the desktop displays that you, for instance, use at work or something like that, are about 24 inches and this is only 10, the text here will be way sharper than your typical monitor, just as a comparison. Now also, when it comes down to it, at this moment, this is at max brightness, and as you can see, this is nothing overwhelming. That's because this is an IPS LCD display, and honestly, it's a fairly underwhelming display. It looks fairly nice in terms of colors, but you're not going to be getting anything outstanding here. It is just a typical IPS display, and I believe in like outdoor scenarios with the sunlight, this device will be barely visible. I am right now in the recording studio where it's basically pitch black, apart from this little light that is right above, and you can basically show it doing this. So as you can see, this is my light here and the reflection, and that is, with this tiny little light, the device already seems a little bit dim. It feels like it's not max brightness, even though you can see it clearly is. It ain't getting any brighter. Also, I am not working any kind of battery saving options. So this is the display. Now moving on to the next part, which would be the cameras. On the front we have a 5 megapixels of pure disappointment, and at the back we have 8 megapixels of also even more disappointment. Now I already took a couple photos of it with a failed previous video when I tried to record this. So I'm gonna show those and so you can see how they look like. So there's the photo gallery. This is the selfie camera. As you can see, it is literally underwhelming, if not even utter garbage, what I would compare it to. And these are the results from a front camera, or well, not front camera, I mean the back camera. So the little shark figure is from the back camera, and as you can see, when you zoom in, it looks atrocious. Let's not lie to ourselves, it just looks god-awful. So moving on, I tried to do it a couple different times. Try to do it from a little bit further because it does have a fairly zoomed in view of it, but as you can see, this is max I can zoom in, and it does look even worse. So let's move on to the next one. This is the first one that I got, and again, it is I don't even have words for it. It's just so bad. So to put that in other words, you most certainly won't be buying this device because it takes good photos. You probably won't be even using the camera, because I'm pretty sure a Nokia 3310 can capture better quality than this. So yeah, if you have any kind of other device like a smartphone, majority of the smartphones capture heavens better photos than this can. Most of the budget devices that have come out in recent timing in like 2020 and 2019 will capture way better photos than this. So stay out of the way and do not capture any kind of photos with this device unless you need it. Maybe the only reason why you have cameras on here is for like video conferences, then yeah, sure, it can work. You don't need outstanding quality, no one needs to see your wrinkles on your forehead or stuff like that. So for that purpose, this is good. It also does face smoothing, as we already seen, so you'll be getting a little bit of a lift up in this case, at least in my case. So moving out of the camera category, we can go over the rest of the specification. So the device comes with a Helios P22T chipset, and it has a couple different variants. So you have 4 or 2, I think, and 4 GB RAM, and a couple different memory options. So it comes with 32 GB version, 64, and 128. Now I'm gonna quickly check if this actually has expandable storage, because I did not actually check that up. If I can find it, there we go, it's on top. So you can expand it via the SD card. Now this is also the SIM card version, so yeah. But you have option to expand the storage. So if you would be buying this device, I would advise you to go with the 64 GB version. That's because the 64 GB version comes with 4 GB of RAM, while the 32 GB only comes with 2. Now 2, in my opinion, might be a little bit too little. I would strongly suggest to go for more RAM. The storage is not as important because you can expand it, but because you can't get a 32 with 4 GB RAM, 64 is most likely the option I would strongly suggest you to go for if you're planning to buy this device. Now, apart from that, it does have, like I said before, a fairly substantial 7000 mAh battery. So with those specifications, the resolution, the brightness of this display, along with the chipset, this battery should last a fairly substantial amount of time. Shame that it won't be charging fairly quick, but still it will last long. So once you run it down, the battery, this is probably one of those devices that you will plug in for charge overnight and keep it charging through the entire night. And apart from that, the device comes with only single color variant, which is the Iron Gray. And if I flip it over, this is basically how it looks like. So it's this kind of like fairly dark gray, silver, however you want to look at it. And also at the back, as you can see, there is not much here. We have, if I can grab focus, there we go. So we have some Dolby Atmos logo here, then Lenovo right over here, and this single circular camera. There is no flash either on front or back, so what you see here is that's basically what you get. Then if I could actually somehow show this, there we go, you can see that there is a charging port, speakers. Then if we flip it over again, we have well, charging port. I think I said that this is a charging port. This is a headphone jack, that's what I meant. So this is a headphone jack and speakers, and at the back we have the, or bottom, we have the charging, and this is a Type-C. Not sure how visible that is. There we go, so you can see it, it's Type-C, at least the shape of it, and again speakers right here and nothing on the other side. So it is fairly minimal in terms of what it comes with. The speakers are, I would say, fairly nicely positioned, because if I flip it over to the side, they are right up here, and usually you will hold the device with the buttons on the top, so you won't be blocking it if you're holding it in a landscape position. So that is really nicely designed in my opinion here. Now moving to last thing that I would probably mention, which is the performance of this device and specs. So let's go into our settings. As you can clearly see right now, the device is chugging a little bit, as you would probably expect from a 200 euro device, so it is on a budget side. And this comes with Android 9, and we can quickly I'm not connected to network, but yeah, this I believe only runs at Android 9 and has no update to Android 10, so you won't be getting that latest greatest Android. And apart from that, it has some of the Lenovo stuff right here. So they have this kind of like a tab where you pull and it does search, but it primarily shows YouTube video once it actually connects to network. You also have the Google feed if you slide normally to the last page, and apart from that, it feels fairly stock. Apart from the fact that it just kind of isn't the most powerful, and it does chug a little bit, and you can see that in just flipping pages and stuff like that. But honestly, for $200 or euros, I have to say that this device seems to be fairly good. I haven't really tried it in like high intensive tasks, so you can't really tell how well it will run when you start, for instance, gaming on it or stuff like that. I suggest it won't be the most powerful, but stick around and you'll most likely find on our channel also gaming on this device, and you can see how well that runs with it. Apart from that, I have to say it's a fairly decent device. There's not very many tablets that are in this kind of price range, so I have to say that it's a fairly decent option if you're looking for a really budget device, tablet specifically, that has a decent screen, looks fairly modern, and well, unfortunately it doesn't have Android 10, so you're not getting that, but it does have Play Store and all that stuff, something that recent other competitors like Huawei, which was making tablets and also this range, most likely will not have nowadays. So I think at this moment this is the only device that I have reviewed that I know has Play Store. It is really cheap and runs respectively for the price that you pay for it. So that'll be my opinion on this device. And if you found this very helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.